barely got where I was.
That's interesting.
So how am I gonna pull you up? Because then I'm gonna have to pull you over to me in the manner in which I got here. And sometimes the manner in which we got here is we left something behind. Welcome back to Falling Forward with the Ross Sisters. I am Dr. Christine Ross, and we are here with Dr. Terrence Smith.
Yeah, subbing.
We're over here. Pray for sis, cause sis, had surgery on her arm recently. Torn rotator cuff, 4 tears.
Who's she swinging on?
Listen, it happened in Honduras. Is all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
Honduras in the ATV.
Okay.
We had a good time in Honduras.
Wait, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
She came back and had surgery, right?
Exactly. Shout out to Roatine Island. Oh. We had a good time.
She didn't have surgery in Honduras. She came here?
No, yeah, she came.
Okay, I was going to make sure. Honduras, her arm be like this.
It's different there because she had to go to, we went to the ER. And
they're like,
so,
no.
Yeah, so we go there and I was like, these people is savage because she put an IV, they had blood, and they wasn't even wearing no gloves.
Yeah, see, that's why I said she got surgery back here.
Yeah.
She in Honduras been all...
I feel like it was...
I can't leave.
Exactly. No, I would have made it back to her. It's like, she ain't getting it here. Yeah, I don't even know you're supposed to wear gloves. like, I know her, and if I touch my sister blood, I'm cool, but you don't know, and I didn't hear you ask none of the questions that should be appropriate when somebody bleeding.
Oh, yeah, they're like, nah.
No. Yeah, I was like, Liz.
Oh, man. Nah, and you know what? I gotta apologize, because sometimes I get to talking, and, our conversation we had, you were just on fire, and so I wanted to learn more about what you was talking about. So sometimes I get that way, but I don't want you to think I want us to chop it up.
Listen, you can interview me anytime.
Nah,
I felt like it was natural. Well, and I think I will say this to your point. Based on the topic, I feel like it is a difficult topic because we ended our last episode talking about fear, and I think there is a lot of fear when we have to stand up against a crowd, when you have to represent something, because I feel like some people like to be, have you seen Hamilton?
No, I've been wanting to, but you can go ahead and
you
can spoil it for me.
But some people easily want to be Aaron Burr within work environments, within difficult they want to sit there and move in a way that they're taking the winning side, as opposed to standing on a side and taking a stand. And for all of us, our Bible thumpers out there, like, y'all who are lukewarm will be tossed up in that fire. Like, I ain't talking about you, though. I'm talking about your neighbor. but I say that it's like, it is hard, and it's never easy to really push through fear. I feel like all of us go into a space that you can turn inward, and I'm an extrovert. Yeah. I ain't no introvert extrovert.
See, I'm a part-time introvert extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm want to be when I want to be extrovert. And you talk about fear. I've experienced the fear where you go to a job and you kind of hold back your talent, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm black male, go in there, doctor at that. Mm-hmm. So job, let me start this way. Even job hunting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Changing my resume, taking everything off, trying to make it plain. So when they see it, I get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Then move forward. I've had times where I get my resume, Terrell Scott's my name.
Whatever, Terrell. Whatever.
But as my name, I walk in and all of a sudden they see and they look down and I know I can do the job tenfold, but it's just that fear of like, man, do I bring this to it? I have the confidence, but it's just that, I have to feed my family. I have to God bless me with a beautiful wife who kind of helped me through this. But it was one of those things where there's a fear of even applying for that type of job because I'm not sure I was there. Was that what's that theory? What's it called? I want to say impersonating.
Oh yeah, impersonating. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things where you not feel that you're there, and that's one of the fears that it took me a while to get through. Mm-hmm. It took me a while because I had to know that I knew I was there, but it didn't seem like I belonged there.
Well, and I think it's one of those things, and I know I've said this on the show, I'm pretty sure, but Our grandpa and grandma always would say, it's a poor dog that doesn't wag its own tail. If you don't know you got it, if you don't know you can do it, if you don't know you can push through, if you don't know you can survive, nobody else will.
Yeah.
And I feel like it takes somebody kind of stepping in to be like, you know, you got this. And all of us need that encourager. All of us need that person that's going to stand by you and be like, listen, I know you ain't feeling it right now, but you got this. I saw your resume. I saw how you moved at the other job. We have to bring our mindsets to a higher level before our thoughts and our emotions follow suit. Sometimes you got to tell yourself that I'm the ish.
Yeah, you don't want to see how big my head is. He's actually shrinking my head in the camera right now. but the thing is that, you know, it took it took years for me to get that. I would go through be in these jobs, and people they break it down, and it was tough, man, depressed, and it's like, you know what? I can't allow people to break me down. These people don't have that privilege, right? It's a privilege to get them in my life and in my head, and it took, a lot of praying, a lot of changing the people I'm around, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of listening to my wife.
Well, listen, thank you, wife. I appreciate that. Like, so, you gotta be the encourager.
Yeah, sometimes. And she was there, and then having that support system we talked about, that support system was one of those reasons why I made it to that, next level. It was like, all right, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. I've worked with athletes. I've worked with, coaches. I've worked with vice presidents, I've even spoken globally about racial issues. And nobody can tell me anything different.
Yeah.
Leadership development, I mentored vice presidents. Like, hey, you come through my door. Oh, so what are you doing? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But it took a while to get to that. But it took somebody saying, hey, you got this. I know what you're capable of, and I believe you. It was one of the this is probably the toughest moments I've had to deal with, because you got to look at it. You're a doctor, right? And you went to the highest pinnacle of education, and they can't take that from you.
Nope.
And for me, I still have that fear every now and then. But, I look at others like, how do, I talk to them about, hey, how do you get through the fear? Have you ever, has anything come across that lately that you've ever had any issues with fear? I can tell you I had one yesterday with my wife, but that's different. That's different. That's different fear. Kind of fear. I didn't want to talk about that.
I think, like you said, I feel like, one, my big thing as a whole is walking in humility. I can tell you 100%, I'm not as smart as people actually think I am. I just play the part well. That's too but also, I always, like we talked about social support. I rely on my team. I rely on my family. I rely on my support systems as a whole. So things that I'm afraid of, and even things that make me nervous about, that I get nervous about, I pray about it is the first thing what I do. I genuinely pray about it. I'm like, Lord, is this just me just trying to push my own agenda? Or is this something that you're really calling me to do? And the Lord taught me in my early 20s, because your girl do like to talk, as I said, as y'all know, your girl do like to talk, is that just because something bothers me that first day, I had to let it sit for 24 hours or more to see, is it, because some stuff, we could just be having some kind of day. And I might be just hot and fired up about it, but tomorrow I'm like, what happened again?
See, you braver than me, because I'm confrontational. It happens. I'm like, all right, take the water off.
What you say?
Yeah.
Let me put these earrings.
So you want to say it again?
What you say? Yeah. Get the neck snapping and everything. And
I know, I've learned to take some time to reflect, but I still have those moments, and I think that's hard, especially we talk about racism in those moments, because there's been such pain, and then if you've had that trauma in your life and you haven't really dealt with it, it comes up quick. And I dealt with that. Nobody's ever 100%. I'm not gonna say I'm 100%, but I know that I have to learn how to kind of take that step back and say it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting there.
I like how your voice.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like all of us, if we look at ourselves though as a work in progress, we should always be getting there, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. I've made a lot of mistakes in my business. And I've said this before, I praise God for each and every mistake, and I want y'all to see my mistakes. And I want you to see how I deal with it. And if I deal with it with anything less than humility, then call me out on it.
See, I pray. And I pray. And I pray. And I pray. And I keep praying. And then, I'm like, show me a sign, right? And it's just like, what am I praying for? And my prayer for humility, then it's just like, what's it they say? Was it God's always right on time? It's
now on his time, not our time, unfortunately. He's right on time. But I'd be like, Lord, I think your time was off sometimes.
Yeah.
Then he corrects me, and I'm like, I guess it wasn't. But
I'm like, no, like now, now. And I think for me, it's hard, right? It's hard for me because it's just also my grandfather was a minister, knowing how to pray, and that's one of the things you learn, there's no specific way how to pray, but the hardest thing for me is just praying for that patience, and learning those patience. And I think, it's a growth thing, and we're all growing, and I'm growing, but how can I say it without how can I get there? I'm trying to get to a point. It take me a while, and I think that's God telling me, like, don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Are you sure he's saying don't say it?
Yeah, you know what? See, he's saying don't say it. It's probably because I probably need to chill a little bit. But, for me, I look at it, kind of going back to the topic of fear, and I was always scared to speak up. I had an older brother, kind of was like the king, but was always scared to speak up. And there's issues where, like, I had a bully. And I'll never forget, he took my book bag, threw it in the bushes. And I'm sitting there staring at him. Run home, tell my brother, but I couldn't do anything. My brother goes out and does that. And I really start speaking up in, I would say, my late 30s.
Okay.
My late 30s. I was always there, but my late 30s. My best friend was, he kind of helped me through, and my wife still in my late 30s. And it took me a little while. I'm only 33. 34, not bad.
I'm 21.
Yeah, 38. I'm joking. But it took me that long to learn to kind of stick up for myself. And a lot of that, I didn't want my kids to see too.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me, because I would come home from a hard day. All this stuff's happening. And I can tell my kids to do it, but I can't do it. Right? I can tell my daughters, hey, don't let nobody pick on you. Don't let nobody say this. If somebody's messing with you, say something. But I can't do it. And it's hard to swallow that pill.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, because, like, I feel like I became a big mouth in 8th grade.
Oh.
And what happened in 8th grade is the Lord redeemed my soul for real. That's when I became a born-again Christian in 8th grade. And you couldn't stop this mouth from talking after that. Oh, he said, what? You did what? So then in my early 20s is when the Lord said, since now that you're not this nervous, shy kid, you need to rein in on that mouth. So that's where my 24-hour rule comes in. If it doesn't bother me, if I go to sleep on it and it's not bothering me that next day, then I just need to let it go. It's not important. But if it is, I have to end up addressing the issue, because then things end up weighing on my spirit. Because to your point, we did a video of overcoming fear once, going back to Honduras. Like, I held a sloth. I did not want to hold the hairy sloth. Now, the sloth was mildly cute. But, I don't want to hug the Easter bunny. I'm not going to hug Santa Claus.
Oh,
You over here dressed up as something, and this is like a thing
creepy.
that it's a hairy animal. It's not doesn't look like a dog. It looks human-ish.
It wasn't fleas or nothing
Yeah,
like that?
no, I don't think so. Listen, it had some long flowing hair. I was like, shoot, I need to get up on that. But I was like,
You want some batana?
right, exactly. I got me some when I was there too. I got some batana oil. But I always told my nephew, we don't get led by our fears. So if you're afraid to do it, that's exactly what I need you to do. And again, so I ended up holding the sloth.
Yeah.
Now it was for maybe 3 seconds. Okay, I'm good. It's like here,
like a stinky baby.
Exactly. It's like I did it. I'm good. But I do feel like it's hard, and I think even more as we get adults, and I feel like at times adolescents and kids think we're different as adults. We think we're gonna turn 18 and then magically, we don't have these fears. Magically, we're like mommy and daddy because we didn't understand that mommy and daddy also had those same fears that we had. They just never told us, and they just overcame what it was they were facing. And I think all of us are overcomers.
Yeah. See, I think it's interesting you say that. It's that, yeah, you think you'll come to fear because I think the situations, and one of my situations, like if I speak up, I don't want to lose my job. I gotta take care of my family.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to a point where it's like, what can they do because I'm taking care of me?
Mm-hmm.
That's me. You know, I got to take care of my family. I'm not worried about sloths and all that stuff, but you know, I don't have that fear. I fear kids. I don't like kids.
I don't like bad kids.
Yeah, I didn't even like my own kids. I love my babies.
Now I do.
No.
I'm just playing.
But no, the thing about it is and it's hard. And I think a lot of us don't know we have that fear until somebody actually, works with us.
So you're confronted by it.
Yeah, confronted by it. And I think a lot of times it's just part of our reality because you go through that for so long. It's like that's your normal.
Well, and I think it comes down to what's important that you're saying is have it so long. But even going back to your kids, we end up teaching our kids an anxiety or a fear that was unnecessary for them to have. And I think at times we have to push back against it because I think fear is a thing that will always come up. It's always going to come up. Even for me, when I have to, me just talking to some random person on the phone, I can be super bold.
Yeah.
I can still talk to my friends about it, but the difference is I have to ensure that I'm preserving a relationship if I'm talking to a friend about it. And because at times, depending on the friend, because I can talk to my BFS, Chandra, and I'll be like, Chandra, you being stupid. I was straight, Chandra, you being stupid. And she'll say the same thing to me because that's our relationship that we keep each other accountable. But other friends, I have to be more gentle. And if you hear me talk, like even right now, this is how I talk.
Yeah.
I don't have this soft, sweet, welcoming voice always, ever. I don't think I ever have that voice. So that's my thing. So it's bring it into that space that I'm like, okay, I have to speak for the listener instead of for the talker. And if I'm going to speak for myself, I'm going to be like, you being stupid. Because I know you more of, this person's more a softer personality, then I got to speak for them, which can be difficult for me because I'm just like, why we even here? Why we even got to be, this is stupid. You was being stupid and you know you being stupid and you was lying to my face.
I got something for you. So we talk about fear. But I'm going to interweave this into, in the work environment, right? Mm-hmm. You got, those of us, blacks and I can say anybody that's racist. Mm-hmm. Because of the stereotype, the fear to be yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That really, do you feel that destroys the productivity? Do you feel, do you feel that it allows people to say, hey, we're going to do these microaggressions? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm really going to have to think about that because what I will tell you, and I don't know if I've said this before on Falling Forward, but I try hard not to code switch.
Ooh, that's tough.
It is. I try hard not to do it though. And anybody who really knows me, you can find me. Christine, Dr. Ross is the same person. In any space, I talk the way I talk. And now that doesn't mean I don't have some shifting points, because we got HR. Okay, I got you there. I got you there. We got HR now. So, but with that being said, I feel like I do feel like it stifles creativity and stifles productivity, because what we have to understand in part of space, especially as Black people, like y'all see, I got locks. Guess what? Some places do not allow locks within their workplace. And you telling me I can't grow my hair how it grows out of my head, but you can. Interesting.
Oh yeah, it's different. Even just, hey, how you talk, how you dress, to certain things. Hey, well, you didn't do the presentation the way I thought you should. Well, what do you mean?
Your mama. Your mama.
but that's it's a real thing. And I say, I everybody coaches sometimes, and I came from the corporate world. I can't be. I can't be myself in the corporate world. And then when I actually you get punished for it. I work with a big Fortune 500 company. I don't want to say the name. They do pharmaceuticals and med tech device. Their initials. No, I mean, maybe not.
Listen.
Yeah, but
spill the tea.
If you remember all the stuff with George Floyd happened, right? So you feel like, okay, it's comfortable for you kind of to be myself. No, that's not the case. It's not the case. Me and a couple other people were just kind of really going around just trying to bring people together. And I had a director pull me aside and say, they don't like it when you do things like that. What do you mean? Oh, they don't like it when you do things like that. You got to give them a little bit. I said, it's a big company. You mean a little bit? Yeah, they can't handle it. They'll choke on it and they'll quit. What do you mean you can't handle it? He's like, nah, you doing what you... No, they can't handle that. I said, they can handle calling me to do all these speeches, wake me up at 3 a.m. to talk to France. Is that? Yeah, I had, And
you be like, that's what we doing now. So you saying you can do all this stuff, but you don't want, I can't move in the spaces how I need to.
Absolutely.
And I do feel like it's unfortunate, because I feel like when we have to acquiesce to corporate society, we're missing out on a lot of people. We're missing out on a lot of information. We're missing out on opportunities to stretch out, to reach out to different communities that think differently. Because when we're talking about corporate world, we're talking about white world is what we're talking about. We're not talking about Black culture. We're talking about majority culture. And there's nothing wrong with majority culture outside of the fact that it pushes out any other culture. And we want to see ourselves as just this U.S. culture as a monolithic culture.
So I got a question for you then. So because I've been in that culture, and I just want to see what your thoughts are, because I know how I felt when they were all of a sudden everybody's on this diversity kick. We got to get, and just how fast they were trying to look for Candace, but really weren't looking for Candace. What's your thoughts on that, especially dealing with that? Because for me, there was everybody doing it. Everybody doing it. I'm like, this is my time. Let me figure something out.
Like, let me
go
fill out my resume since we over here.
My name Terrell, for real.
Right, exactly.
Get me up there.
Right, exactly. Put me in coach.
Yeah,
Shoot,
I'm right there. Let's go.
I feel like I don't have any issue with that. And here's why. Is we tend to cling to people. We move with people who look like us. We do it unintentionally. So if we're going to say that majority culture, majority white culture is what pushes the ebb and flow of society, then with intentionality, we have to pull in other people. But you have to have the vision to truly pull in other people. I can't just pull you in for how you look. I have to also pull you in for how you think. And for me, if you're not pushing against me, then I'm not growing. And if I ain't growing, why I got you in my space?
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna share something else. So in this corporate world, we have some, say some leaders that are black. Mm-hmm. But yeah, some of these don't tend to bring some of the people up. Mm-hmm. My opinion is that they are harder on us than they are others. Mm-hmm. And I think because they feel that, we don't support in that manner. Mm-hmm. And when all this diversity goes in, I understand what you're saying too, as far as with the, you resonate who you closely look like, right? And that makes sense. It only makes sense. Why do you think that as, black men, black women in these roles, we don't reach down and pull others up?
Because we barely got ourselves where we were at. So when you kind of think about it, you're in a higher role and you're having to reach, and it's not even reach down. It's really, we're reaching across to like-minded people. So we're not reaching down, we're reaching across, but I barely got to where I was at. Not me personally. I run Faith Works Counseling. I'm a co-owner of FWI. Not within the space that I do, because that's not how we roll. And if you're not pushing against me and I'm not getting something from you, what is the purpose of you being here? Yeah. Is how I think. But when you've had to rise to a certain level by at times neglecting who you are, I barely got where I was.
That's interesting.
So how am I gonna pull you up? Because then I'm gonna have to pull you over to me in the manner in which I got here. And sometimes the manner in which we got here is we left something behind.
It's funny. It's not funny, but it's interesting you say that. Neglect. Mm-hmm. Neglect who you are. How common do you think that is?
I think that's very common.
Really?
I think that's so common to neglect who you are. Like, I still use slang. I mean, I have a diverse vocabulary, so it doesn't matter where you come from. You can get the vocabulary that you want, but it's us. We're grabbing onto popular culture and saying that is the rule of thumb. So for us to get where we need to be, our false belief is that we have to shed who we are to become who they are. So we shed who we are to become who they are, but what we have neglected within the context of society, we neglected, again, the very person we are. And we know that black people like me, I know plenty of them.
Yeah.
I know plenty of black people like me. I know plenty of black people like you.
I'm one of a kind. What you talking about?
You know, you can think you one of a kind, but listen, you didn't get that PhD by studying your own book.
Yeah. Which is out on Amazon.
Exactly. But I say that is that we have to then get into a comfort level that we're okay with how we're sitting, the places that we're in, and who we end up moving around, and see each voice that we have, each individual voice, and how they speak as valuable. Because a lot of people, when these companies are coming up, they're missing out on information because you want the black person that speaks like you.
Yeah.
You don't want the black person who was Jenny from the block, as we were talking earlier. You don't want...
Yeah, you don't want that one.
Yeah, you don't want the black person who's over there sipping they fifth on that corner or whatever. You neglect the fact that they still have knowledge. They still have information, and there's plenty of them out there as well. And if we're not going to pull from every diverse pot that we have, we're missing out. We're missing out on technology. We're missing out on ideals. We're missing out on growth opportunities. We're missing out on so much just because we want to speak and think from one frame of reference.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that because when I talk to a lot of leaders, coaches, whatsoever, conversations like genuine. Mm-hmm. Genuinely who you are. Mm-hmm. People want to know who you are. Mm-hmm. Especially if they're going to work with you, they're going to work with you, work for you. They want to know who you are. Are you genuine in your approach? Are people getting you? Mm-hmm. And as you say, as those that move up, and I'm experiencing, it makes a lot of sense what you say because they neglect. Mm-hmm. And that part of them is gone. So when you talk to them, it's like, it don't seem authentic. Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem real for me. Why would I be around somebody who's not genuinely that? And I think that's a great point you make. But I think and to add is that people want to know who you are. People want to see if you're genuine.
Yeah.
And if you're genuine, they will rock with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that.
And you can sniff out people who are inauthentic easy. You can sniff it out because those are those chameleons that are trying to fit every single place. But then when you, and some people, I can't even say that they're truly inauthentic, but what I will say is you got to know time and place for some things. And if you're, especially at times in the corporate world, you got to sit in a certain way. You got to act in a certain way, and then you're actually able to take your clothes off and relax once you at home. Because I even tell people, I'm like, shoot, the only place usually somebody can scare me is when I'm in my own house.
See, I don't want to know.
I'm just saying, that's all.
You get home, you relax, you be like, oh.
Exactly. That's only because otherwise, when I walk out my doors as a minority woman, I already know where I'm facing. Like, I gotta stay frosty. I gotta stay frosty.
I commend, because not going the corporate way. And we all go our different directions. We experience the same things regardless, but at different levels, right? Mm-hmm. And you have your business, you still growing your business, and you expand in different ways. Like me in the corporate, going up the corporate ladder, trying to get to that, we experience. But I have to commend you for that. That you have that knack to see through that ish.
Mm-hmm.
I catch myself. It was
that ish.
He's about to bleep me out.
Exactly.
But and I think a lot of people can learn from with the things that you're saying, as far as kind of being yourself, understanding who you are and what you're about. And me personally, I'm learning a lot, because I do struggle with it. Mm-hmm. But I think having a great support system has been key for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And knowing who you are, even at times, if you got to put on that coat that's not yours, that having a place that you're comfortable to take it off and say and realize. And I was listening to a message the other day that's talking about you're chosen by God, and so that's what I'll say to you, is that you're chosen. I'm chosen. Right, exactly. Right. But I feel like everybody's chosen for that purpose. Yep.
I think you're right. We're all chosen, no matter shape, size, color. We're all chosen. I think we just need to know that.
Mm-hmm. You need to know that, and we have to move in spaces that it's okay to be chosen in the way that you are chosen.
Question for you then: how we know the spaces are right for us?
You got to fill it out. It's called discernment.
Oh, okay.
We know everybody up in this room knows when you in a room that you ain't supposed to be in. And everybody done stare at you. Like, I went to the gun show. I was scared. I'm not going to lie. And we about to end this show, though. But I went to this gun show. And I'm a legal gun owner. I have 2 firearms. And I was scared to go to the gun show. Now, it was still awkward at the gun show. I did not feel like I totally belonged at the gun show. But, I still, when it's a space that's not yours, then you claim it.
Yeah.
So even if it's not your space, you end up eventually have to claim what is yours, and you make that space as a part of yours.
Funny thing is, sometimes you go in those spaces and they're the most welcoming spaces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it's especially if you just.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So thank you again, Mr. Terrence, for being here, Dr. Smith.
Scott?
I was going to say Scott.
You can say Scott.
It's Smith, though. It's Dr. Smith.
Terrell Scott.
Terrell Scott. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you again for another episode of Falling Forward with the Ross Sisters. We'll see you guys next time.